Live social shopping is the underpriced attention. There are a ton of creators right now who will never get millions of followers and make millions of dollars, but if they switch to being someone that sells something on social instead of making lifestyle content, they will make millions of dollars. Live social shopping in China represents 30% of all e-commerce in China.
Get the fuck out.
A $500 billion economy of live shopping in China that is bigger than almost every nation's economy. We're already at 6% on live shopping in the US, and no one's even seeing it yet.
What are your craziest predictions when it comes to AI?
Well, I've gone pretty viral lately because my craziest prediction is that most people's grandchildren will marry an AI robot.
Fuck my life.
Some of them will, not everyone's going to, but I think this is the biggest thing we've seen since the internet. It's that big. When the internet came along, my thesis when I was a kid was, oh, this is like I bet my life on it. And the bet was, this is the biggest transformation ever. And like everybody will be on the internet. And when I tell you, when I said that in 95, 6 or 7, people laughed. When people are like, when they talk about AI, I don't think they realize it's oxygen. Like when I get excited about the blockchain, NFTs, Bitcoin, that is a big deal. When I get excited about social media, that was a very big deal. Email, Google search, these are big deals. This is a level above. This is internet and AI. Meaning I view AI as almost boring to talk about because is it fun to talk about the internet as a foundation? Like no, we talk about the things on top of it. To me, AI is now like omnipresent. It's a reality of life. And there's a real decade of recalibration, reckoning, disruption, opportunity. I'm baffled at anyone who's not spending an hour a day learning about AI and using AI. I couldn't imagine. And I spend a lot of time prompt engineering, just if you don't know what that means, Google it or AI it. And that's what's so funny. Like even Googling it, I noticed I said to somebody the other day, I'm like, AI it. Like go Gemini it, go Perplexity, go Gronk it, go OpenAI, ChatGPT it. It's huge. And it's like the wildest predictions are the Internet of Things, it thinking for you, it ordering. Like I think all of shopping will be done by agents for you based on your behaviors. Like it will know better that you wanted that outfit than you knew.
Facebook already knows me better than my husband with my shopping
That,
preferences.
most things know things better than husbands know. But we're a bunch of idiots. I think that it is very clear to me that we are going into a transformative half century where AI will be like the piping of this reality. Piping, railroads, infrastructure, oxygen, whatever you want to call it. This is the biggest thing that's happened in a long time.
Let's give people a couple things to do on that. Somebody's listening, they're like, all right, fuck it. Gary told me to do AI. What does do AI daily in order to get better at it look like?
Inside of Twitter X, using Gronk, Perplexity, or Google Gemini, or probably the one that ChatGPT is so strong and so easy and common for people. Download it and use it every day. And then use it to, here's how I use AI. Hey, AI, hey, this is what I do actually almost every week. What are the 5 AI apps that popped in the last week that I should pay attention to? AI is answering that question for me so that I can go look at those apps and understand what's happening. Also, real quick, because I know a lot of smart investors listening here, be very careful in investing in AI. The reason I haven't yet is every week you think you just invested in the best X, and a week later somebody crushes that. The speed, you want to talk about speed? The speed in which these apps are getting updated and better is profound.
It is the first time that I am annoyingly an evangelist for tech that is not something I've invested in or own. I won't shut up about. I'm like whisper flow. Fuck the keyboard. The keyboard's gone. You just,
gone.
Yeah, you just voice text and it's perfect from now on. I mean, that's wild.
What about the fact that nobody has to learn a language anymore? Oh. Everyone's going to have ear pods that you're going to talk to somebody, they're going to be speaking Spanish and you'll hear it as English, and you're going to speak English and they'll hear it as Spanish and Portuguese and Korean. There's profound things coming. But the wildest one is we're going to fall in love with these, AIs, and then we're going to put that in love AI into robot bodies. And those robot bodies are going to go from looking like RoboCop to looking like, Megan Fox.
Sydney Sweeney.
And, that Megan Fox movie is a preview. Yeah.
Does that make you sad?
No, it doesn't.
Happy?
No. It makes me understand that this is how it's always been. Like cavemen were different than you and I were. Supposedly we were apes, right? So like, does it make our apes mad that we like shit changes? Like I'm not like, people are always like, Gary, that's gross. Or like, you need Jesus. Or I'm like, look, I'm not advocating for it.
Yeah, you're just predicting.
Like, in fact, I'm like advocating for simplicity. I think I'm sad for people that wear gold chains and fucking like take pictures in private planes. So like, I love when people are like, this is sad. I'm like, you're sad. Like this is what's brewing. This is what could happen. You're asking for a prediction. I'm guessing, but it fucking feels like it's coming.
I think you're right. I do think it's a little sad, but that is every generation.
But by the way, I go back to this. We're in charge. Like if you think it's sad as a human one day, like you can parent and grandparent your kid into like understanding the value of a human versus a robot. Right? The problem is that we have to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable. The reason the robots are trending, in my opinion, long term, is we want everything perfect.
It's exactly why.
Yeah. But by the way, are we robots? Like, let me explain. Ozempic, vanity, hair extensions, boob jobs, fucking testosterone, HGH, makeup, people can argue we're sad. We become very, very, very visual. Like 40, 50-year-old men and women, like you and I, 2 generations ago, do not look like the way we look. And those people can say we're sad. Why do we have to alter ourselves? What's plastic surgery? What's Botox?
Gary's going to be like this in 10 years, maybe?
I'm probably not, but I don't judge people that are. Yeah. I just judge when they say something sad when they're doing the sad thing. I remember in the 80s when I was a kid, but I remember when everybody frowned on someone who had a boob job.
And now they're everywhere.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
And so like, I don't know, is lip filler like sad to a woman from 1949? It sure is. They think you're fucking sad.
Zoom out, huh?
So just because you think a robot's sad, like it's just going to keep doing shit. And I get what people are going to say in the comments, like, yeah, but that's still a human being. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know. Like, okay.
I hired an AI specialist who's so amazing. You walk into my office. Yep. The first time I meet the guy in person, because we were interviewing him on a project basis. Anyway, he's sitting in the front area of my office. He's got a hoodie on. He's got those, what are those things called?
VR glasses.
VR glasses. Mm-hmm. And he's just fucking maestroing in front. And I'm, taking a little video because it's funny. His name's Chadwick. He's brilliant. Yep. And his entire job is to see where AI can play in our companies. But I started talking to him about this idea, and he pushed me really hard on our humans, robots. He goes, should they be able to vote? Immediate reaction, fuck no, they shouldn't be able to vote. He goes, okay, what about a human with a fake leg? What about a human with 2 robotic legs? What about a human with a neuro transplant in their head? Where does it become a human instead of a robot? And I was like, poof.
Yeah, and by the way, it might not even be right. Like, meaning like it could be the end of the human race. And I'm like, okay. Like, do you think I want that? But my intuition is that my grandkids will be gone by the time that happens. And like, you don't get to control the future. Like, what is this audacious? This is where the whole politics thing has gotten me crazy. Like, we've gotten to this era where people have the audacity to think the world should be how they see it. I have passionate points of view. We just spent fucking an hour on it. I don't think I'm right, and I don't think it should be the way I see it. Like, and most of all, you can't stop it. Right. Technology is undefeated. By the way, as I sign off, electricity, demonized when it came out. Actually, the word demonized. When electricity was invented, people did not put it in their home and still chose lanterns and candles because the word on the street was electricity had demons in it. We're scared of new shit.
I want to talk to you a little bit about building big companies. You've built a ton. And so with your current knowledge today, I'm curious, like, let's say you had to go back to your wine days almost. Let's say you owned a laundromat, because I'm into those things.
Yes.
So let's say you owned one laundromat and you had to start your entire empire from one laundromat today. Like, what would you do? What would be the playbook?
Content. Yeah, because, you and I are part of a breed that admires a single laundromat owner. And I think you have really done a good job of tapping into something that I think is black and white, which, we talked about the last time we hung, like this whole, whether you call it micro P or just practical business, obviously Main Street is the way you think about it. I think there's a huge opportunity for a lot of those people to build a brand. In fact, that's what I did. I built my brand. I am that person. I didn't even own the business. It was my dad's business. I was the person who built it. But my original content as GaryVee, after 5 years or during the 5 years of doing the wine show, my original first ever thoughts about business and life and perspectives were literally out of a liquor store, one store, and I built my brand. I could have easily, if that's what I wanted, opened up 10 more stores, did micro M&A, and I would have built a very substantial franchise or independently owned multi-unit business, which would be worth a lot of money. And in today's environment would be a very attractive PE acquisition, as every small business is going to get consolidated, it feels like these days. So I really, the number one thing I would do is get into content for two reasons. One, if you're capable, building your personal brand, I do believe is a moat. I've always believed that it was the moat. I've talked about it for 15 years that it's the moat. It is the one true asset that doesn't get commoditized, even in an AI world. You still have your IP, it's your copyright, it's you. Two, if you learn to be a content creator, the other thing that worked with me, and this was hand in hand, and this is what I want for this person, is you start getting good at running ads and doing content for your business too. So in my brain, what I'm dreaming up right now is Sally's building up her. She's like, I did this. This is how I bootstrapped it, or how I inherited it, or whatever's real. Here's what I'm doing. Here's my day-to-day troubles. Here's how I think about it. Oh my God, coins, when people stopped having change on them, we had to put in these, swipe your credit card or your, just like the battle stories of that business. But also what she will learn in the story that I'm telling is she'll learn what really and by the way, I know a lot of small businesses listen, so let me give it to you very straight. Disproportionately, the biggest opportunity to grow your business, traffic to your business, average receipt size, is to run, if you're a local business that people come to, is to run 10-mile radius Facebook ads. And so Sally, in this journey of building up Sally, the laundromat entrepreneur, would also start to learn how to be good at these things, which she would then be able to use to run ads to her business, which is advertising matters. It's always mattered, and it will always matter. And so content.
You know what's so interesting too? In your story, I remember looking back at those old videos of you in your wine business. And today, everybody wants to have a set, right? We're on a borrowed set. This one isn't mine. But, they want to have this fancy set. But you know what the sickest set is today? You're actually a laundromat.
I think so.
Because it's show, don't tell. It's like, no, I own this. I'm not, there's no fluorescent lights here. Watch me do this. You don't think I own it? Look, I'm right here.
I believe the best studio in the world is the world. I tell my clients, which are mainly Fortune 500 companies, I'm like, look, let's make content at stores, in parking lots, at festivals. I genuinely believe that. I've always believed that. I was honestly the Pied Piper in 2009, 10, 11, 12 of no production value. Wine Library TV didn't even have a mic. No lighting, no mic. Literally whatever the camera picked up. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I think that store as studio is a big idea.
It's a good framework.
Yeah, I think so. Store as studio is something that I've really championed more privately than publicly, so I'm glad we're getting to pontificate about this. And I think that's right.
Yeah, and it means you don't have to have a bunch of money, because I'm all about the great equalizer. Like yesterday, my husband and I were kind of laughing in New York, because New York's such an equalizer city in some ways,
in the
which
best
is like,
way.
Yeah, so I could drive like a fancy black car, which sometimes I do, and guess what? If you hoof it Or if you subway it, you're faster than me. And so like that's a cool equalizer that doesn't exist in a lot of other places. And so I think this is a good example for content. Like the best performing ads for a lot of our businesses are exactly what you said. It's 100%. Like it's a window cleaner cleaning a window and then it reveals a price. Like that's it. There's no production. And so
production often again is disguising insecurity. A lot of people talk about production. If you listen carefully, it's just an excuse to not do. Anyone who says I can't afford it is full of shit. It's called an iPhone. You all have one. The end. Nothing else. Zero. I did it for fucking half a decade. A $239 camera from Best Buy was the only thing I used. Nothing else. Nothing.
Such a good point. You know, you've mastered these underpriced attention platforms at varying times. You talk about it in all of your books. At any given time, there's an underpriced platform. So let's give the people the non-evergreen. What is that today? Where is the underpriced attention today?
Live social shopping. If you sell anything, and this is huge for your crew, if you sell anything, you know, that's not like a physical thing, not a service. VaynerMedia doesn't do this. I can't do this with VaynerMedia. We don't sell a physical thing. If you sell a physical thing, which a lot of you do, every one of you has to learn everything you can about TikTok Shop and whatnot. WHAT, Those are the two leaders right now. I expect Meta, Google, Twitter, everybody to get into this game. Live social shopping is the underpriced attention. There are a ton of creators right now who will never get millions of followers and make millions of dollars. But if they switch to being someone that sells something on social instead of making lifestyle content, they will make millions of dollars.
So smart.
I literally think garage sales and flea markets are going to happen in live social shopping. It's not just someone who starts a beauty brand
or like those storage units. Kate, we're doing your storage unit. She has one here that she's had for 2 years.
Right. She's paying monthly fee.
She's paying $25 a month. We should just do it live on YouTube.
Not YouTube, because they don't have that yet.
Well, so I want to turn it into a YouTube video, but do it live on Whatnot or TikTok Shop.
You can make a YouTube video because that's great, because that's content. But live, the QVC-ification of social media is here.
Yeah.
Listen to these stats. 30%. This is a stat. I'm always a little weird with stats, but this is real. China is fully here. China's got obviously one of the biggest economies in the world. Live social shopping in China now, by the most conservative estimates, represents 30% of all e-commerce in China.
Get the fuck out.
A $500 billion economy of live shopping in China that is bigger than almost every nation's economy. In the US, I just had the CEO of QVC. He put out this stat that I'm going to try to validate this week, but it feels right-ish. He's like, we're already at 6% on live shopping in the US, and no one's even seeing it yet.
What's that? Do we know what that is compared to what QVC used to be? Because it was like a lot, then nothing, then now growing.
QVC has always been a ton.
Okay.
And it's not a lot. Yeah. It was still doing an ungodly amount of business.
Interesting.
There's something about the behavior. You're almost like paying for the entertainment. You're like tipping the host. You're like part of the community. I have this concept called commerce-tainment. So ready? How about this? You're a hairdresser right now listening, and you sell shampoos and other shit, soaps and all the fucking shit in your place, right? You can go live on Whatnot right now. At the bottom of the screen is like this $12 shampoo, and you could just buy it while you're teaching people how to use the shampoo on a customer. This is real. Tea with GaryVee, which I really did really well during COVID. I've brought back. I love doing Q&A. On Tea with GaryVee, I now do it on Whatnot, not on Instagram Live. I do it on all my socials, but I drive to Whatnot. I drink out of a VeeFriends mug, and the mug is pinned at the bottom of the screen. And while I'm doing the show, people are buying the mug.
Get out.
Commerce-tainment. I'm not even selling in that format.
It's just subliminal right there.
Yeah, or I'll make a reference. I'm like, hey, you like my mug? You get like it's a mini commercial. It's not even a commercial.
Interesting.
So
and you just like experimenting. Like that's part of your thing. You just never stop experimenting.
Yes, after it's been validated.
Okay.
I have $1 trillion stuff of stuff sells in China. Now we have those functionalities. It's going to happen here.
GaryVee, you're the man. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.